When I showed you the continuous joining, I briefly showed you how to carry on along the outside. This video expands on that and shows you how to do linen stitch. We need the border a bit wider because the square that we've made is too small to fit the bag that I want to use it on. We need to make it to fit the bag. So turn your work over and work 3 chain. An extra 2 treble in that corner, exactly the same way as we have been doing for the granny square. In each of the spaces along the side, 3 treble. Now we've come to the joining. If you were to work 3 treble in each of these, you'd end up with 6 in the middle there, which would be far too big. What we're going to do is just work over the joining slip stitch of the continuous joining. And then carry on along the next block in the spaces between the trebles. And you can see how nice and flat that sits. Just work over your slip stitch and into the spaces between the 3 trebles. And as you can see in the corner, we're carrying on with using 2 chain. You'll see why later. And three treble. In the corner we have 3 treble, 2 chain and 3 treble. Carry on doing that all the way around until you get back to the beginning. Okay, so we're now all the way back around to the beginning, and as with the regular granny square, we're just going to do 3 trebles in this corner. And 2 chain this time. Slip stitch to your 3rd chain. Now this is going to be a little bit different because I want to fasten that off, but I don't want to cut it off. So what we're going to do is pull up a large loop, put the ball through the loop, and then pull the end. So we've done a slip knot without actually cutting the yarn. The next thing we're going to do is a row of a different colour. I'm going to start in this corner here. We start in any other corner apart from the one that we finished in. So I'm going to go for this colour. This is where we start the linen stitch. Start off with a slip knot on your hook. Put it into your corner chain space, yarn over and through, and take 2 off. That's your first double crochet, 2 chain, and then another double crochet into the same corner. Now we have a slight issue here in that the way that I've done this has left me with 48 stitches along each side. To do linen stitch, ideally you need an odd number of stitches. What I should be doing now is a chain and missing the first stitch and then going into the second one. But I'm doing the chain and using the very first stitch. So that is going to give me the chain space without missing the stitch. Then 1 chain, miss a stitch, double crochet into the next one. 1 chain, miss a stitch, double crochet into the next one. 1 chain, miss a stitch, double crochet into the next one. Make sure that you keep your chains loose, otherwise your linen stitch border is going to get very tight. We do this all the way across to the next corner. When you get to the final corner, do your chain, miss 1, double crochet into that one, chain, miss the last stitch and work 1 double, 2 chains and 1 double and another chain. And again, because we've only got 48 stitches, we don't want to be missing the first one, although we should do if we had an odd number of stitches. So I'm going into the first one, 1 chain, miss 1 and double, 1 chain, miss 1. When you get to the corner where you've got your end from your other yarn, just leave the yarn to the back of the work and work over it to do your first double crochet. Then 2 chain, tuck it out of the way and do your second double crochet into it like that. Again, remember to do your 1 chain and into your first stitch rather than your second one. When you get back to the corner where you started, work your last double crochet, 1 chain and slip stitch to the very first double crochet that you made. Now, as I'm not planning on using this colour again, I'm going to just cut it off. Yarn over and pull it through to fasten it off. And that is your first row of the linen stitch. You will find that if you do your chains too tight, this will pucker and pull it in. So make sure that when you're doing this and future rows, you keep a loose chain between each of your double crochets. The next job is to go back to the cream. We are turning this over and working from the other side. You can see this is the back of the work. What we're going to do here is just put the hook in, pull that over and work a chain. Then work 1 double crochet, 1, 2 chain and another double crochet. All of this is worked into your 2 chain loop there. So you've worked 1 double crochet, 2 chain, 1 double crochet and 1 chain. Now all the way along you're working into your chain space. That's double crochet into your chain space and 1 chain. Double crochet into your chain space and 1 chain. Double crochet into your chain space and 1 chain. This is done all the way around. with the corners being a double crochet, 2 chain and a double crochet in each corner. So this is exactly the same all the way around. You'll see the pattern forming when we do the next colour. Once again, finish your row by slip stitching to your first double crochet, pulling up a large loop and pulling your ball through it. This just means that you haven't got a lot of ends to sew in. Right, as you can see, I just went past the ends there. Those will be sewn in later. And then we turn over and decide what colour we're going to do next. I think I'm going to go for the pale blue one. I pick a different corner to this one. We'll go start over in this one. The reason for picking different corners is so that you haven't got one corner that has a lot of ends and ends up being a lot bulkier because of all the ends that you've had to sew in. Once again, slip stitch on your hook and pick a different corner to where your other 2 colours are started. Double crochet into your chain space, 1, 2 chain and another double crochet into the chain space. This row is exactly the same as the others, but you can see the pattern starting to form as you're doing it. You end up with your coloured rows here. You can just see the stitches above your previous coloured row with your cream stitches in between. Now I'm going to go all the way around again and I will see you when I get back to the beginning. Okay, we're back at the beginning. So I've done my double crochet and chain, slip stitch to my first double crochet, and as we're not going to be using this colour again, I'm going to cut it and pull the end through. Then I'm going to turn over, hook into the chain space, yarn over and through and make a chain, then 1 double crochet, 2 chain and 1 double crochet and 1 chain. And again we're carrying on exactly the same as before with double crochet in the chain space and a chain. The hardest part of this now is deciding which colour I'm going to use next. So I'm going to be coming back to the beginning and I'll see you then. I'm back to the beginning again. My final treble and chain, slip stitch to my first stitch and pull it through. Now before I decide whether to fasten it off or not, I'm going to measure it against the bag. You can't really see because it doesn't fit on the camera properly, but this is almost big enough. And when you consider that the crochet will actually stretch over onto the bag, I think that this is actually going to be big enough. As this is big enough, instead of fastening this off now, I'm going to turn. One chain. And this row I'm going to do 2, because it will be the final row, I'm going to do 2 double crochet into each chain space. 1, 2. So this will give you a nice edge to be working on to join the other side to when we get that far. I'm just going to go all the way around, and when I get to the corners I will still be doing the same in the corners. So I will still be doing 1 double, 2 chain and 1 double, but all the way along the side is 2 double crochets in each chain space and no chains in between. This is to give you a solid border. You can see that gives you a nice solid border, and you've got the pattern of the other stitches underneath. This round ends a little differently because we started that way and went this way. Instead of doing the corner first, we have to finish with the corner. So I've done 2 double crochets into the last chain space. This is my corner chain space. 1 double crochet, 2 chain and 1 double crochet. Then slip stitch to your very first stitch, and this time we're going to fasten the cream off by cutting it, yarn over and pulling it through. As the bag is a bit big to show you when it's close on my working space, I've had to do it this way. It's going to be a bit wobbly, but you can see there's the back, there's the front, and you can see it's rather a nice fit for the bag. The bag sticks out the top a bit, but that's okay because we're going to do some extra around the top when we start the handles. But I'm rather pleased with that.